Hi class. In this video, I want to show you how to do problem number 2 from your homework. And this involves using what's called a chi-squared test. Okay, so you open up problem 2 and it says determine, and it looks like this x squared. This is actually called a chi-squared test statistic. It's called the degrees of freedom. The critical value using alpha is equal to 0.05. And then finally D, let's test this hypothesis here at the alpha is equal to 0.05 level of significance. All right, so you have this data table here. It says you have these outcomes. There's outcomes A, B, C, and D. So there's 4 outcomes. These are the observed values for the outcome. Okay, 27, 24, 22, 27. But what we were doing was we were expected each outcome to show 25, 25, 25, 25, or basically a quarter of all the possible outcomes where they're supposed to go to each of these individual letters. Okay, so first off, it says find the test statistic. So you're going to click the double pane windows and you're going to open this up in StatCrunch. So it says the outcome and then you see the observed and the expected. So for problem number 2, what you're going to do is you're going to hit stat. You're going to go down to goodness of fit, forgive me there, and you're going to click on this thing called chi-square test. So goodness of fit, chi-square test. And then it actually gets really easy from here. So it's going to say, all right, well, what were the observed values? We'll select the column, go to observed. What were the expected values? Select the column, click on expected, and then just hit compute right here. And right here, you can see what it lists as the output. Okay, so it says here's N, the total number of data values. DF stands for degrees of freedom. All right, so degrees of freedom are the number of observations for looking up our test statistic on the table. I'll show you how to do that in a second. We have the chi-squared. This is the test statistic right here. So it's saying here the test statistic is 0.72. So let me put that in there and check my answer. Yes, I got it. All right, what are the degrees of freedom here? We'll look back here. DF is 3. So another way of calculating the degrees of freedom, it's always the number of outcomes minus 1. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 different outcomes. So 4 minus 1 gives me 3. Awesome. Find the critical value. Right, that's the next question. So you're going to have to load this table up from your textbook. All right, it's table 8. All right, and what it says is it gives the critical values for the area to the right, which is what you're looking for. So if you look back in the problem, it said alpha was equal to 0.05. That's great. So up at the top, 0.05. You're going to go to the degrees of freedom, which were 3. Scroll over, and you should see the value 7.815. Nice, we got it. All right, so what should we do? All right, should the null hypothesis be rejected? Absolutely not. Okay, the null hypothesis should not be rejected. Okay, so when your test statistic is less than your critical value, you do not reject it. So we got it. You'll use this chi-square test on your first couple homework problems, and then in another video follow-up one, I'll show you how to use ANOVA. Thanks, everyone.